covering section 4, steering. There's a few things here you've got to watch out for. Look, the bottom line is, again, your skill level should be up fairly high. Incorrect position of hand on wheel. Never put the hand inside the wheel. It's always been this way for many years. When the airbags came out, it became more critical. Hands should always be on the outside of the wheel. If you've got your wrist inside, upside down in the wheel, and that airbag goes off, you're going to break your wrist, etc., etc. You don't put your hand inside the wheel. Don't cross hands if you can help it. Try and use push-pull. Obviously, in a low-speed, low-driving position, crossing hands is all right, but push-pull steering, not little shuffle steers either. Big movements. Your left hand lives on the left-hand side of the wheel. The right hand lives on the right-hand side. They meet each other top and bottom. Simple as that. You're going to get truckies that think they're pretty special with one hand and they can spin the wheel. Well, obviously, the modern power steering, etc., they can get away with it. They do. I understand that. But doing a driving test, you've got to do it properly. Unnecessary steering with one hand, that's the subject that brings up, actually. Don't sit there scratching your nads with one hand on the wheel and one hand somewhere else. Try and keep both hands on the wheel at most of the time. You obviously got to change gears, so that's something else. Or adjust controls, that's fair enough. Arm or elbow out of the window. Well, that means you're a really big man and you want to show your new tattoos off to some poor Sheila out there. You don't need to stick your arm out the window. You're not friggin' tough. You got your fag in your mouth too. You're a big man. No, you don't need to stick your arm or elbow out the window. And as I mentioned before in the last video that I did that didn't quite work out, I've known 3 people over 40-odd years that don't have a right arm, and it's not been shark attacks, I'm telling you that. They've rolled their car and they've had their arm out the window. And one of them had to walk a long way too, and he only nearly died. Both hands off the steering wheel. Well, obviously, when you get to the lights, you're doing a driving test, you go, the lights are red, and I'll stop, and I'll pull the hands off the wheel. Automatic fail. You don't do that. You need one hand on the wheel all the time. Don't take both hands off the wheel, ever, while the engine's running. You've got to keep both hands on the wheel. The next bit, allowing wheel to self-centre. So you go in a corner, and you let the wheels spin to come back. Wheels do self-centre, even with all types of steering boxes, but hey, you don't do that because you don't allow or release control of the car, and that's what you're doing. If you allow the wheel to spin, you're releasing control of the car. You couldn't do it in the old Land Rovers, that'd snap your knuckles. You have to hold the bloody steering wheel when you drive it. Yes, it's easy to let it self-centre and slide, but don't. Keep holding it. When you get your licence and you want to get away with it and you think you're pretty cool letting the wheel spin, well that's okay. I can't stop that, but you don't do it when you're going for a driving test, and you don't do it when you learn to drive. Don't allow the wheel to self-centre. Keep both hands on the wheel at all times, unless you're having a scratch or changing gears or indicating. That's obvious, but you stick your fingers out to indicate. You don't use your whole hand. You don't break the indicators off. We'll cover that a little bit later too if we can. That's